I wouldn't be surprised if you told me that you've never heard of a Riests, for now it is entirely common to refer to one only as priest. But having this unaspirated labial prefix wasn't always the word's only form, so let me tell you a story of how the P came to be the norm. Once there were Riests with a P at the front of them, and Riests with no P, simply R, was the brunt of them. Now a P is quite small, just a line with a bubble, so you might think this difference wouldn't cause too much trouble. You might even think a single letter so small really just shouldn't much matter at all. But because they had P's, all the P-started Riests began to think they were better. From this heightened position, they declared a prohibition.
Only Riests with a P have true authority, because we possess this fine letter. Riests with no P,
They said confidently,
can never be priests. No, it never can be. No P, then no priests. We're sorry, dear Riests. In letters, you simply are lesser.
Now priests performed many uses that Riests loved to do too. But the priests decreed that these uses required a P to be done properly, so a Riest with no P wouldn't do. If Riests ever came knocking to where priests were taught and said they would like to be trained, they were told they were lacking in essential lip-smacking that should be the start of their name. In P's they were poor and were thus shown the door. P-less Riests were just not the same. The priests would write sermons, discuss things and teach, or counsel, lead worship, wed couples, and preach. They never invited the Riests to take part. No, the Riests had no P at the start. The Riests were not welcome. In fact, it was wrong. They were missing a consonant. And so time went on. But soon Riests began to make quite a ruckus, so the priests thought it best to hold a priest caucus. The priest with a capital P was the leader, so he took to the floor and was the first speaker.
Now, when we consider just what are these Riests, what qualities are in their possession, we could say they have reason.
Intellect. Expertise, even.
Other priests called out in reply.
Scholarship. Quite adept at, thinking.
But what they don't have is also worth listing, to see just why Riesting can never be priesting.
The lead priest was quick to supply.
No power.
No Poe support.
No patience.
No P-ness.
No patriarchal graces.
Precisely. Too precious a letter is our sacred P.
Continued the leader of their session.
With their perfect convexities perched high on their lines, our P's are too great a possession. No, these Riests are not priests, no, not in the least. It would be a most grievous transgression.
Then they joined in a throng and called out in a song. The Riests, will they ever be priests? They must never be, ever be priests.
The Riests, will they ever be priests? They must never be, ever be priests.
Now, meanwhile, the Riests had gathered outside of the building the priests were reasoning inside of. Then they cried to the ones who had P's at the start.
We have much more in common than what keeps us apart. God made us both with a will and an intellect. The fact that we're human is what should take precedent. We can do the same uses. Soon you will see there's good we can do that's worthy of P.
But we've settled the matter.
The priests called out the window.
To come to an answer, we've gathered the info, considered it, measured it, and hereby report. It's alphabet bingo, and you've come up short.
Then the Riests, they got madder. They knew they were worthy. P or no P, Riests could serve in the clergy. This caused lots of problems, you might as well guess. Pro-Riests and pro-priests made a horrible mess. Riests said,
We can do it!
Priests said,
No, you can't. It says so right here.
No, that's not what it meant!
Many predicted they'd never agree, that there'd never be peace in the matter of P, that no common ground could ever be found between Riests and the priests. Only ill would abound. But the doomsayers were wrong, I'm quite happy to tell you. The priests and the Riests at long last reached a breakthrough. They eventually decided to end the vendetta. They came finally to see that P is but one letter. Instead, they determined it would be much better to focus on all shapes they shared in their letters. They realized their fighting was a needless word game. Of all of their letters, 6 were the same. So the priests to the Riests made a remarkable admission.
All Riests are already 80% priests, so we've come to agree that it is no concession. On the contrary, we acknowledge it your rightful possession. That a P to your name you are welcome to add. that we are all Riests. So a P you should have.
So this story ends well, for all Riests came to see that the use that Riests serve is what matters, not P. And before you think there's more to it than this, try saying priest without using your lits.